Hirana kalia potokurshi himoto. Hiranaya tokurani kimaya takaya tata. Mohotaya vishitanya kalia potahashaka. Hiropomati hariamukode. Ishtaya mukupara karana krusha hyarata. Hi everybody, I am answering an inquiry today about the difference between liberation and distraction. So somebody asked about that and I thought it would be nice to make a video in response to that. And also if anybody else has any inquiries or anything you'd like to ask, please just post it in the comments and I will try to respond to them when I have time. Thank you, Jaima. Thank you for being here. I love you. Eshta kurumataya takalabiki kala karamato iharaka. Yeshu bakurumatai hirakrana kaliya pataraka. So this moment is the moment that we are in, right? This is the moment that we are in. This is the moment that we've experienced grace, that we've experienced truth, right? This is the pure moment of peace. This is a pure moment of divinity. This is a pure moment of knowing ourselves. So what is it that we are asking when we ask ourselves, how have we come into this space now? How have we come into this pure space of divinity and peace? How have we come into this pure space of knowing ourselves as divine? How have we come into this pure space of aspecting ourselves into consciousness as the grace and the truth of everything that we are? Have we come into this space knowing ourselves as divine? Have we come into this space knowing ourselves as true? Have we come into this space as the one that we came here to be? Is our life uplifting us to become the person that we came to be? So is the life itself uplifting us, or are we being uplifted by our inner divine self of divine love and light consciousness? Is the life itself uplifting us? So what is life? What is life? Have we seen life as the divinity of all things? Have we seen life as consciousness and truth and peace? Have we seen life as the things that we are wanting, the things that we are doing, the things that we are seeing, the words that we are speaking? Where do we go when we expect life to be divine and we expect life to be true and we expect life to be peaceful? So is the life that we are living purely divine in this moment of peace? Is the life that we are living purely divine in this moment of divinity and truth? How have we come to know our life? Have we come to know our life by distraction or fear? Or have we come to know our life by truth and energy of love and grace? How have we come to know this life that we are living at this time? Is there anything within us that is distracted from knowing this life as true and divine and free? Is there anything within us that is distracted, right, from this essence of truth within our being now? Is there anything within us that is distracting us from this truth within our being now? Have we seen that God's grace rests within us as the energy of consciousness, right? And as God's grace rests within us as that energy of consciousness, do we know that everything we are doing, right, everything we are seeing, everything we are feeling, everything we are experiencing is pure essence of grace? That's all it can be. So in this moment, as we allow ourselves to be purely one with the consciousness, right? Purely aspecting ourselves out into consciousness as the grace, as the truth, as the peace. Is there a distraction that's wanting us to see things differently than how they truly are? Is there a distraction that's wanting us to experience life differently than we know it truly is in this moment? So what is the distraction that takes us out of the peace of this moment of divinity? What is the distraction that wants us to know something different than who we truly are? What is the distraction that takes us out of our true heart space in this moment of peace? What is the worry? What is the fear of being distracted from this true moment of peace? What is the worry or fear of being taken away from our true space of peace? All right. What is the worry or fear that allows us to seek something other than who we truly are? What is the worry or fear that expects us to be different than who we truly are? Is there anything else expecting us to be other than who we truly are? Is there anything else expecting us to see things differently than how they truly are? Right? So as we look deeper and deeper within ourselves, right, and we expect consciousness to be the divinity of all things because that's what it is in this moment, in this reality. What are we looking for within that conscious space of peace? Have we found the energy of God's love and God's truth within our being? Have we found the energy of the light of consciousness that sees all things, that knows all things? That requires only grace to be seen. And when we're in that energy of peace, right, we're in that energy of truth, we're in that energy, the fear and the distraction and the worry is gone. Is it gone? Or can we see it more deeply? Or can we see it from the essence of the true being of who we are? What does distraction feel like in this moment as we're letting ourselves be divine and free and truthful and energetically creative and aware? What is the distraction feeling within our beings right now in this moment? What is this distraction, right? What is the distraction awakening to right now in this moment? What is the distraction feeling within our own essence? Are you distracted by something right now in this moment? Is there a distraction that is taking you into another realm of beingness? Is there a distraction that is taking you into another consciousness, right? Is there a distraction that is not allowing you to be seen as the true divinity of all things? So we dive deeper, don't we? We dive deeper and we dive deeper and we dive deeper. And as the consciousness opens up to who we are and we dive more and more deeply into that truth within our being, the essence of all things is revealed. We are the essence of all things. There is no truth that cannot be seen within our own being. Is it true? There is no truth that cannot be revealed by our own true divinity within our own seeking. Is it true? There is nothing that could be seen outside of us that is not alone or conscious within ourself. So as we allow that consciousness to be seen and to be awakened, right, within this space of peace right now, where are you going? Are you going deeper within your own being? Are you going into the consciousness of all things? Are you going into the truth of your own energy and peace and joy? Are you allowing God's grace to be seen within you as that truth that you are? So who is distracted? Who is distracted? Is there a distraction waiting to be seen? Is there a distraction that wants to take us out of this space of peace and love and joy and truth and energetic feeling consciousness within our being? How many times have we awakened to our true self and lost it only because we were restless and unsure about the truth of our being. So the divinity within you is resting, isn't it? It's quiet, it's peaceful, and it's alive, and it's aware, and it's conscious. And as you allow yourself to be seen within that place of consciousness and grace, who else could be aware of you? There's nothing else but you in this moment. This you-ness that is all things, that is the oneness of all things. This you-ness that expects you to know God's grace and God's consciousness in all things. This you-ness is all there is, right? It's all there is. So as you allow yourself to experience this you-ness as the oneness, as the peace, as the truth of you, is there anything else, right? Is there anything else? How has the feeling of you been developed? How has the feeling of you been alive, right? How has the feeling of you taken you into your true divine nature now? The grace and the consciousness and the truth and the beingness and the aliveness and the understanding. It's all awake and aware in this moment of truth and peace. We can't be distracted from who we truly are if our truth is divine, isn't it? We are that divine truth within our being. So the distraction that may occur is only in essence of something that looks unreal to us, but it is not. It is not the truth of all things. So if we look more deeply, are we distracted? Or are we feeling conscious about our true beingness and alive and awake and aware? And are we distracted? Or are we allowing essence and God and truth to be this moment of peace? Are we feeling distracted? Or are we knowing ourselves as the truth of all things? So what does a distraction seem to be in our reality? Is a distraction something outside of you? Aware of you but unconscious of you? Is a distraction something that looks like an energy of awakening, divine energy? Right. So what is a true distraction? Because I'm saying, what is a true distraction? Are we really distracted? Is it really a distraction from our divine self? Or is it really an essence of our true beingness that's looking like something outside of us? Right? So if you're really distracted, could you be conscious? Could you be aware? Could you be alive? If you're really distracted, could you really be who you truly are now in this moment of peace? Are we really distracted, or are we conscious and alive and aware? Because if we're really distracted, there is no consciousness, there is no awakeness, there is no awareness. Yes, is it true? If we're really distracted, I am alive in my true self. I am alive in my conscious self. I am delving into that space of truth and peace and love now. I am knowing myself as divine, and all things will sink into that space of divinity as I am the truth of all things. How is that truth awakening within you right now? How is that truth expecting to be seen right now? How is that truth alive, right? How is that truth awake? I know myself as divine. I know myself as truth. I know myself as consciousness. I know myself as grace. I know myself as diving into everything that is divine and real now. I know that I can't see anything differently than who I truly am. I know that I can't be in a different space than the space within my own beingness and truth. I know that as I walk into my own grace and my own truth right now, that there is nothing else in my consciousness. There is nothing else that could take me out of my consciousness. There is nothing else really that even exists. So what is the distraction in our concept of reality? Is there a concept of reality where a distraction means nothing other than, oops, I forgot who I was for a moment in time. Oops. It doesn't really matter, does it? I forgot for a moment about my beingness and my trueness and my space of peace within my being. What is this distraction that we're creating in our reality right now? What is the distraction that we're creating within our space of truth and peace right now? What is the distraction that we want to know within us as the truth of all things? Take that distraction, put it within your being, and allow it to be seen as the grace and the truth of all things. Take that distraction and know it within you as the grace and the truth of all things. Take that distraction and allow it to be seen as God's energy, as God's peace. The feelings of consciousness within us will allow us to be seen as the grace of truth that we are. I am not aware of myself if I am unconscious, but yet I still am. Isn't it true? I am not awake to myself if I am unconscious, but yet I am still here and aware. So what am I doing? I know myself as divine. I see myself as divine. I feel myself as the energy of consciousness in all things. I allow myself to be expected to be divine. So the question of the difference between distraction, right, and the energy of consciousness within our own being is only a difference of a matter of consciousness not seeing itself as divine. Right? It's only a matter of consciousness not seeing itself as divine. When we know the truth, when we're aware of the truth within our being, there is nothing other than that truth. Is it not true? There is nothing away from that truth. I allow myself to be divine in this moment, and that's all there is, that's all there ever has been, and that's all there ever will be. I'm not distracted from that truth because I am the consciousness of all things, and I allow myself to be seen in that consciousness, and I allow myself to be heard and known and felt in the grace of God's energy within me. I know myself as the truth of all things. I know now that any distractions that take place within my being are only seen as a period or a moment of oops. Right? It's only a period or a moment of oops. Everything else is divine in this moment. Everything knows itself as divine. Everything sees itself as divine. Everything feels itself as divine. Everything is alive in that divinity of peace. resting in your awake, aware state of consciousness right now. Resting in your awake, aware state of consciousness right now. That's the difference that we're seeking. When the awake, aware state of consciousness is developed within our being, and the state of difference is only the truth. That's all it is. The truth allows us to be seen as God's light. The truth allows us to be seen as God's love. The truth is the energy of grace and consciousness within our being. I am alive, I am awake, I am aware, I am true, I am purposeful, I am kind, I am loving, I am up, I am down, I am in, I am out, I am all around. I am only in the distracted state when I haven't seen myself as divine. But the divinity of all things rests within me as me. And I am not conscious of that, only if I accept myself as less than true within my own being. I am allowed to be divine. I am allowed to be divine. It's who I am. It's who my truth is. It's who my consciousness is. I am awake. I am aware. I am kind. I am loving. I am truthful. This is my energy of grace. This is my energy of peace. This is my energy of love. In all things, we've accepted our divinity. We've seen our truth. We've allowed that peace to be within us, as us. In all things, we've created God's grace in the world around us. In all things, we've known ourselves as the peace that rests within us, as the truth of all things. Consciously alive and aware of that grace within our being. Consciously knowing ourselves as the divinity in all things. Consciously allowing that space of peace to be true, to be divine, and to be free. We are aware, we are conscious, we are alive, we are love. Love is the grace, is the truth, is the divinity within everything we are doing. That's our space of peace now. All right, and there we are. So that's it. We know God's grace, we see God's grace, we feel God's grace, we accept God's grace. We are the grace of all things. We know that we are divinity. We are never away from that place of divinity if we are allowed to be seen as kind and loving and divine. And this is our moment to be awake and aware and alive in the truth of all things. I love you. I love you, I know you, I see you, I feel you, I experience you. We are that energy of grace and peace and truth now. And be seen in your own grace and your own truth and divinity. We are that. Nieta kurpataya na kurushai shai shai kimata kalapi kiara kramata. Yuru kurupatani kurupataya shivakarana kurupotu. Gishaya shaya 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 kamata. Hirana kurupataya takaramata utekarana. Mishta karamoto futara karanjiva ya kamata. Yara kurupoto hom 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 bakara. Hirana kalia patakurushe hemoto. Hiranaya tokurani kimaya takalia taka. Mohotaya vishitanya kalia motahashika. Hirokomati haryamukota. Ishtaya mukopala karana.
Love is all you ever need.